Hello. I am going to work with you today on a strategy called Syllabication. Syllabication is actually a reading strategy that helps you to divide words and helps you to decode them, which is an important skill in reading. Then I'm going to teach you some strategies on how to put the word back together so that way you're not left with a choppy word in the end. During the Middle Ages, students learned to read and write using multi-syllable words, and they would divide them into individual syllables that they could decode and make the words easier to understand, the chunks of words, and then they would put them back together to build the whole word. So we're kind of going to do the same thing today. We're going to start with a whole word, but then we're going to move backwards and break it into syllables. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Syllabication. So we're going to break words down into their syllables. Right? Your job today is to follow along with me. You're going to say a word and you're going to break it into different syllables using 4 different strategies that I use and teach to practice syllabication. Then you will be required to put the word all back together at the very end. Okay? So let's get started with an easy one. We're going to use hat. All right, so I'm sure most of you have probably already heard this strategy, or you've probably seen it in class, or you've done it a few times. This one is just the clapping one. It's a great audio of what the words are broken down into syllables. So let's try this word hat. 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 I heard 1 clap. That means this word has 1 syllable. Okay, next strategy. This one I want you to slide your hand right underneath of your chin, and we're going to say the word slowly, and I want for you to feel how many times your jaw drops when you say it. Hat, hat, hat. My jaw dropped 1 time. So that tells me this word has 1 syllable. All right. Mr. Gardner's in the Navy, so Mrs. Gardner has one I like to call the anchor strategy. So on a big ship, you pull a lever and drop the anchor in the water, and it helps the boat to stay in place. So we're going to kind of do the same thing with our word. We're going to drop the syllables using our anchor strategy, okay? So let's give it a shot. Hat. Hat. 1 time. I dropped my anchor 1 time. Hat. Okay. Now, here's our final strategy I'm going to teach you today. And what I want you to do is to pay attention. We are practicing using our left hand because we read left to right. I know we might be moving from our right to our left, but we're using our left hand, okay? So your left hand, I want you to hold up your fingers for how many syllables you hear in a word, okay? We're going to move across our chest. Hat, hat, hat. So now we're going to put the word all back together. It's like you're grabbing it and pulling it across, okay? So you grab the word and pull it across. Hat, hat. Okay, there was 1 syllable, hat, hat. And we put it all back together. Okay, so we know this word has 1 syllable. All right, let's try another word. Coffee. All right, let's start at the very beginning. We're going to clap it this time. Coffee. Coffee. I heard a clap 2 times. Let's try it with our jaw and see how many times our jaw will drop. Cough, E. Cough, E. Cough, E. My jaw dropped twice. All right, now I'm going to anchor it in place. Coffee. 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 Oh, 1, 2. Did you see that? Coffee. Now Now my important step of putting it all back together. Coffee. Coffee. Putting it back together helps us to be a better fluent reader. We can decode, but we can put it back together to make it make sense. Okay? So, in this word we had coffee. Coffee. 2 syllables, right? Now I'm going to give you a harder word, and we're going to look at a couple of strategies with this word. Okay. Whew, that's a long word. And it's got some tricky things in there. I'm not really sure what it says. So first I'm going to look at it and say, okay, if I break this up, okay, I'm going to break it up by my sounds here. Employer. Oh, there's an R controlled at the end. And the OY together, I know, says oi. Just like in toy or boy, okay? M. Okay, so let's try it with syllables. Employer. Employer. Chin. Employer. Employer. All right, we're going to try to anchor it. Employer. 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 So how many fingers did you see in that last one? How many claps did you hear? How many times did we anchor? And how many times did your jaw drop? I hope you caught that there were 3 syllables in that word. Okay, let's try it with your own name. I want you to practice using your own name. Clap it. Okay, you're going to clap. You're going to use your chin. You're going to anchor it. And, oops, Mrs. Gardner just realized I spelled that word wrong. Woo! Anchor. Okay, we're going to anchor it, and then you're going to move across your chest with the number of syllables. And then you're going to put it all back together, okay? Across your chest, okay? So why don't you try it with your name? I'm going to try it with my name, okay? I'm going to write Mrs. Gardner, okay? And you know what? Maybe I'll try it with Alicia. Let's try that. My name's kind of long. Everybody calls me Allie because my name is different. Okay, so I'm going to try it with my own name. And then I want you to give it a shot with your name. Alicia. 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 I have 4 syllables in my name. I want you to give it a shot with your own name. And once you have that down and you've practiced it, I want you to try to teach somebody in your family, maybe mom, dad, or maybe sis, and try to teach them these strategies with their name. You might want to write their names down and practice it a few times for yourself, so that way when you work with them, it'll be easier for you to be able to talk with them, and you won't feel as nervous if you've practiced it, okay? And we'll talk about that and recap and talk about how it went on our next meeting, okay? Have a wonderful day. Wonderful.